Alright guys, thanks for tuning in to my new series I'll be doing on Robin Hood. I'm going to give a little introduction here, but I'm going to be coming out with some new videos here where I'm going to read some of the Robin Hood tales for you. I have been going back and not necessarily retranslating, but rewriting some of the tales in such a way that a modern person would be able to understand and enjoy, hopefully with a nice strong beverage around a campfire. I would also like to thank my friend, you know who you are, who drew this wonderful piece of artwork that I will be using here as the thumbnail and primary image for the videos. Alright, let's begin. Looking back through the mists of time, through clouded history and more appropriately clouded myth, we find a figure whose existence is debated over, who fought for the little guy, the defenseless and the weak against a tyrant, who fought against unjust taxation, and fought for the people, a folk hero who hid in the forest with his merry men and launched a campaign of guerrilla warfare before such a thing was even a concept. He was a hero of the folk, the man who could be looked up to when all else has fallen apart under tyranny. He resisted the power of the church and state while hiding away in the greenwood which was his home. A man who would challenge the social norms of the day and rip apart the status quo, who fought the enemies of freedom not with a vengeful, hateful, and malicious spirit, but did so cheerfully. He brought not hate and unjust violence, but joy and the righteous use of force for the people. Robin Hood, the legend is more important today than it has been since it was originally told. In today's world, we find ourselves faced with many of the same problems medieval peasants did under feudalism. It could be argued that perhaps our issues are far worse than what those men of yesteryear dealt with. But tales of Robin Hood and his merry men show cheer as well as vigilance in the face of such things, with an enlightened spirit of rebellion. For the very subject of Robin Hood is much more poetry, storytelling, and mythology than factual history. More radically, there are many ideas as to where the Robin Hood legend comes from. Scholars and poets alike have shared their ideas. Anthropologist Margaret Murray believed that Robin Hood was an arboreal forest deity, still worshipped by a surviving witch cult. Although Murray's witch cult theory has been largely discredited, it still sings of some truth. Scholar Thomas Wright wrote that Robin Hood was a forest god, honored in the May revels in celebration of the coming of the summer season. Everyone from Robert Graves to Sir James Fraser connected Robin Hood to the Green Man and the horned god Cernunnos, Herne the Hunter, and even Odin. The idea of a pagan Robin Hood, or the idea of Robin Hood being a pagan deity himself, has been brought to the forefront of the neo-pagan spiritual movement. Sir James Fraser argued that the, quote, King of the Wood was a manifestation of the universal pagan archetype of the dying and resurrected vegetation god, whose rebirth was often acted out in the springtime mock combat between the personifications of summer and winter. Fraser gives several Germanic examples of this folk custom, in which summer is clad in greenery and winter is clad in the skins and fur. The battle between Robin Hood and Guy of Gisborne, then, provides an echo of this pagan pageantry. Robin, in the role of the Summer King, defeats Guy of Gisborne. The villain, who appears in a horse hide, is utterly inexplicable, unless, of course, he represents the Winter King in his animal skins. Similar mock combats, complete with resurrection, took place in England at Yuletide, and mummers' plays, in which Robin Hood occasionally appeared as the hero. Let us now dive in to the tales of Robin Hood.